This bamboo behind me was the first plant that I put in. It's a nice strong bamboo, and it has gotten quite a bit taller. It started as just one pole, and now you can see it's goes way up there. I'd love to have more bamboo. A couple comments about it. First of all, bamboo is not necessarily invasive. There's two kinds of bamboos. There's lumpers and there's runners, and some of them are just not a problem. In addition, this is an extremely dry climate. So bamboo is not able to spread in either case, whether it's a runner or a clumper. We have no water going to that plant at all, so it's taken 7 years just to get to that stage. I'd love to have a forest of bamboo, but I'll have to be pretty patient for that. Well, the graftings were already a success from before, because about at least 1,200 or so survived. We're not really sure, maybe 1,000. There's a lot. We did 1,400 of them. But the nice thing about the success is that this year it looks like they're going to start producing a lot more fruit. We got our first trickle of fruit last year, but this year it's going to be more than we know what to do with it. It's quince. Quince is membrillo. I don't really want to make a sugary paste. There's enough sugary crap in the world. We could try and ferment it, and I'd have to see if that works out and tastes good. Oh, there's an interesting garden over here. Let's take a look. This garden is mostly not much. Here's a alcachofa, see? Sí. So we have one artichoke here. ¿Hay otras cosas?
No, solamente, pero hay semilla tirada de tomatillo.
De tomatillo.
El pasote y el tomatillo va a salir aquí.
Bueno. So there's seeds of the tomatillo laying around because that did okay here. And then this will probably hit on where the tusas dug up stuff. There's a lot of tusas here. Estuve muchos de tusas. Y ellos comen mucho de las raíces, pero ¿sabes qué? También este es tierra más suave, por las semillas de tomatillos tal vez a crecer. Entonces tal vez tusas y tomatillos pueden vivir juntos. ¿Quién sabe?
Por un tiempo.
The arnica that we have is actually native here, but it really likes the spots where we've dug up the ground and made it soft to make gardens. So we're seeing a wild plant, a native plant, that really likes to live in our gardens and happens to be extremely useful. That's the arnica. It's used for medicinal purposes. I don't know if it really works or not, but it seems quite popular with people with sore muscles. We'll have to do a little bit of weeding in this garden as well. This garden was exposed to the light after we had to cut down the trees here. It's quite close to the lodge, so it's an interesting space to have some fun with. We'll have to think of some more ideas to what to do with it. Maybe we'll put it in some bigger plants, and then we'll see if the tomatillos come back from seed. Well, the containers near the house have some successes. There's some lemon balm and some oregano, and the tomatoes have actually done quite well in the dry season. We've been dumping different kinds of gray water or water that was used to wash beans or something into those. So we see tomatillos here. The tomatoes we got from Oaxaca, we just had a few seeds that were brought from some friends, and now we've got lots of plants of that, and we're going to save those seeds. So we'll have these weird, lumpy Oaxacan tomatoes. They're quite good, actually. Over here we've also got an aquarium with a leek in it. Actually, what's this called? I forget. This is the first time I've ever grown this plant in my life. Fennel, I think. No? I don't know what the hell it is. It's got a very flat nature to it. I'm sure anybody would laugh at me because I didn't know that, but oh well. And here's a kind of an exciting thing. We've got some little tiny seedlings from succulents. It's an aquarium that's normally very, very dry. And so we put seeds in there. Now, succulents normally propagate extremely easily from cuttings, so you might wonder, why would we grow that from seed? Well, it's to reintroduce genetic diversity. A lot of these plants that were ornamental were selected out, bred out to be the best for human values of their species. And if we only reproduce them asexually with cuttings, then we're not getting a remixing of that gene pool. So I like the idea of, even if the flowers aren't as pretty or it's not as useful, who knows what will happen, but of going ahead and reproducing things by seed, even if there's an easier method of doing it. This little tree behind me, I believe, was put in by the previous owner. I don't think I put it in. It's got really nice yellow flower part of the year. A lot of the year it's just completely bare. The leaves are just returning now. You can see on this one the seed pods are here. We collected some of those and we had some successes. So down in the plant reproduction area, we've got some little trees that will become like this kind of tree. It's an extremely nice tree, so we'll go from one to many. Also, now that we know we can do it, we'll focus more of our energies on that. This little courtyard here has some squash going on that we have been watering. Normally we don't water much, but we'll make some exceptions and see how it goes. We've also got some tomatoes on a little trellis right over here. Avocado tree that will eventually shade this whole spot, changing its use. More corn and tomatoes planted together. Over here we've got one of our blackberry plants. It seems to like it here next to this wall. Most of the ones we put in died because we didn't water them at all. If we watered these, you'd find them to be highly productive. Without water, they produce a little bit. We're experimenting with that to find out how we can increase productivity without using irrigation. This is a very successful little garden. It's called the pool garden because it was put in where there was a pool where I tried to do some fish farming before. It's full right now, in the middle of the dry season, the worst of the dry season. It's full of wonderful plants. I see some mint over here and some tomato and pepper and lettuces. We see a squash over there. So it really likes this sunken in, protected space, and also we're using a little bit of water on this one. So you can see the difference. It's a significant difference, gardening with water and without. If you're willing to use water, you can have lots of gardens that look like this. And this land could produce lots more food. But it wouldn't be sustainable to use the water that way. This little mandarin tree has actually done quite well. It produces tasty mandarins for the first time this year, and that's probably because we did water it a little tiny bit, and then also we put some of our first compost from our composting toilets around the base. We did that with many trees here in the orchard, so you're seeing these nice peaches. We always get lots of peaches in any case. Yeah, see those? We get loads. This year, we're much smarter, hopefully, and we'll dry them. We lost quite a few last year because the season really isn't that long, and they don't last well. So we think drying them this year will allow us to use them longer. This is a citrus tree here. You can tell it's doing okay, but it's pretty thirsty. It's not quite as mature as the other one. I think it's a different type, so it's having some trouble. Some avocado trees in here. We've planted avocados all through the forest. The apple tree is doing better than it ever has this year. It's been pruned a little bit better, and we also gave a little fertilizer. These avocado trees are amazingly productive. We've got lots of baby ones that aren't productive quite yet. But even this small one here, it's maybe 12 feet tall at most, produces quite a lot. Of course, it's also a lucky tree because it's located next to our compost bin. So the liquids from the compost, they soak into the earth, and they result in a tree that's got just loads and loads of fruit, and it fruits for a lot of the year. It's got a very long season. Since the fruits don't mature until after you pick them, we can leave them on the tree and just pick them, and then pick them ahead of time a little bit and use them that way. So unlike the peaches, which have a short season.